Hello, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Lily Nova, and it has been a very interesting last couple of weeks and even last couple of days for disclosure and the Great Awakening. The year of the fire horse started on the 17th, and it is not disappointing so far. So, just last night, the White House and Trump made an announcement, and I will share my screen to share the post here. Based on the tremendous interest shown, I will be directing the Secretary of War and other relevant departments and agencies to begin the process of identifying and releasing government files related to alien and extraterrestrial life, unidentified aerial phenomenon, and unidentified flying objects from President Trump. So this was just last night. Uh, well, that's big. This is the farthest that we have been before. And what prompted this is just this past week, Barack Obama was on an interview where he admitted and said that aliens were real. And then Trump was asked about it, and he said he's not supposed to be giving away that classified information. That's classified information. And he said maybe I'll get him out of trouble by declassifying it. And within days, just last night, he made this post talking about disclosing alien life and UFOs. Wow. So that's a pretty big leap. We'll see what comes of this, but I think this is a good step. This is the farthest that we've been before. It's no longer being mocked. Um, and I'm feeling pretty good about this. I'd say this is a big step in the right direction. We'll see how much they release, but this is big. This is actually the White House coming out and saying not just are they going to look into UFOs, but actually alien life, extraterrestrials. So I think that's big. There are some people who are saying that this could be a distraction from the Epstein files, and I honestly don't think that's the case. I've been sitting with this, and in my heart, I feel, well, the Epstein list, what's coming out with the Epstein list, that is the cat's out of the bag, okay? It can't go back in the bag. People are upset. People are really diving deeply into these files and bringing up a lot of really crazy information that a lot of us have known for a very long time. But the rest of the population is basically getting red pilled with all of these conspiracies having to do with trafficking, cloning, um, all sorts of things. So I don't think this is a distraction. I think this is a strategic move to start rolling this out and seeding it into the collective. It's kind of if it happened all at once, it wouldn't be effective, right? And also, I'm going to share some messages that I received from the Alliance a few nights ago. I want to say I was contacted telepathically. I want to say it was the 16th, Monday, February 16th, either the 15th or 16th. And I wanted to make a video on some of these updates, some interesting intel about giants, Iran, and also I took the opportunity to ask about the Epstein list. And so this is all going to come first full circle here. But I think there's a key word there. Based on the tremendous interest shown, is what the White House said, or what Trump said. Based on the tremendous interest shown, they're going to begin the process of identifying and releasing government files related to alien and extraterrestrial life. Okay, and that coincides with messages that I received a few days ago when I was contacted about the way that this is coming out. Some of it trickles out, and then we demand for more. We demand for transparency. We're not letting this go. Like the cat's out of the bag, and it's going to continue rolling out. But we have to we basically, they can't go against our free will, although there's dark forces that very much are sneakily working around free will all of the time, right? There's kind of this battle between dark and light. But ultimately, it is up to us, and the population has to demand for this. We have to keep speaking our truth. We have to keep calling for transparency. And we also have to keep sharing our stories because ultimately we are the disclosure, right? It's up to us. It's fantastic that the White House is calling for this. Yes, we need transparency there too, but ultimately, we have been the disclosure. We have to keep speaking up. And one of the major themes that I was seeing for 2026 is humanity's throat chakras opening, becoming unblocked, speaking your truth, commanding, demanding truth and transparency, disclosure. The ending of all of this corruption, these dark forces, the satanic forces, exposing them. This is a part of the process. And we've been seeing a lot of pushback from people. And people are upset. And that's understandable. Whenever you get a big dose of red pill like this, a lot of this information is very traumatizing, talking about the Epstein files. Part of the grieving and processing process is anger, grief. There's a lot of emotions that are coming up in the collective right now. But ultimately, I think it's important that we stick together as best we can. We stick together and we demand truth, transparency, and justice, we'll say. Okay, whatever that looks like. So I think we're heading in the right direction with this. Now, I'm going to go ahead and share some messages that I received the other night that were very interesting. So I'm going to read from my notes because I was writing this down as I was getting it. So switching topics a little bit, but it's going to come full circle. I suddenly was contacted at it was like 1 o'clock in the morning. I had started falling asleep, and then I was just suddenly wide awake, jumped awake, and was in full-blown contact. And if you're new to the channel or you don't know me very well, I am a contactee. I began being contacted by extraterrestrials and seeing UFOs back in 2020, which I was a space photographer, and I started documenting evidence of these encounters. I have tons of footage of these UFO encounters, experiences that has been featured on Ancient Aliens, the History Channel, the Travel Channel, news articles all over the world. And now I receive messages. Well, that activated extrasensory perception, psychic abilities, if you will, being able to tune into the field. So sometimes I'll get information from tuning into the field, tuning into the Akashic records, remote viewing. And then sometimes I'll also receive messages from some of these benevolent beings in a group I call the Alliance, who is working towards the awakening, working towards disclosure, and working towards the benefit of humanity. Ultimately, these benevolent forces, they are guiding us. They can't do it all for us. They're guiding us and assisting. We do have allies. Ultimately, it is up to us. It is up to our state of consciousness, our state of frequency. And awareness is key to all of this. And also demanding truth and transparency as well. And focusing on love, truth, the heart space, unity. So the messages I received, war or more conflict brewing with Iran. Okay, maybe not necessarily saying war, but conflict brewing. And I was hearing headlines conflict. So conflict in the headlines. And I asked why. And then I saw giants, tablets, remains. I was told this is a cover up. The conflict over in the East is a cover up. Okay, there are factions who want these remains, positive and dark factions who want these remains, these artifacts, these giants. And I believe there was an email involving Hillary Clinton talking about the tomb of Gilgamesh. I wish I had that pulled up right now, but that was in the Epstein files. The Epstein files are like a smorgasbord of conspiracies and conspiracy topics. Like everything is in them, from trafficking to giants, cloning. It's to rituals. It's pretty mind-boggling, but we've known this, right? Many of us have known this. So they said this is a cover-up. And I said, why do they want them? It's our history. They want custody, to take them into custody. And I was seeing two world leaders from different countries trying to get custody of these giant remains and these artifacts, and that they were working together on this. And I saw them taking it to a space ark that is underwater into a vault. I was hearing Atlantis. This has to do with Atlantis as well. Hidden technology, hidden wisdom, our hidden history that's been erased, that's been kept from us. And then I was picking up on Israel, not saying all of Israel is bad, but there's definitely control, very deep things coming from Israel that do not want this information to come out. And I said, why do they want these remains? Hidden history, lost wisdom. I was picking up on the Anunnaki. And this is proof, right? If the giant remains come out, that's proof. And there's all sorts of giant remains have been found all over the planet and even all over the United States, but it's been hidden. Like you can find articles from, I want to say around the 60s, but don't quote me on that, from a very long time ago, probably before that actually, maybe earlier 1900s, late 1800s, about these giant remains being found and the Smithsonian coming and taking them. And then the Smithsonian saying, oh, those don't exist. But there's actual news articles from when these remains were found. And they're hiding that for a reason, because that changes everything. Part of some of the messages I've been receiving over the past year is that in order to know our future or lead into the future, we must know our past. A lot of this hidden information, we are a species of amnesia, right? A lot of this has been hidden, it's been erased. This has to come to the surface. So there's a conflict brewing over these giants, essentially. And I said, what would happen if these positive, okay, hold on, wait, what? Okay, so I said, what should I understand? The war or conflict with Iran is in some factions of the East it's a cover up. Okay, it's a cover up. There's a lot going on under the surface. And then I asked, what would so and so and so and so do if they got these artifacts, remains? The positive factions, some of the positive people I was seeing. Release, I heard, a drip release. Could be slow. This is important because this would be the receipts for our hidden and forgotten history, suppressed knowledge and information. I also was seeing the emerald tablets. And they're under siege right now. So then I took this opportunity while I was in a very clear contact to ask about the Epstein list. And I was like, what's up with the Epstein list? And then I was told this information is being filtered, redacted on purpose, saving certain information and names for last or for later. So this is coming out in kind of a drip disclosure, but we got a big, massive wave of it, but we have more files that need to come to the surface and hopefully the unredacted versions. But I was being shown that certain information is being withheld until later. So it seems like this information is coming out in stages, and then people want more, right? They're demanding for the unredacted files, they're demanding for justice, they're demanding for more transparency, and that's good. That is strategic because it's up to us. We have to command this. We have to say we do not consent to that and demand the truth and transparency. The cat's out of the bag. It can't go back into the bag, okay? But what happens from here on out ultimately is up to us, and it is up to our level of consciousness. Okay? That's highlighting the whole thing here. That's the big thing that am feeling very guided to highlight. Okay? How this all plays out is up to us, up to our level of consciousness, up to the collective, up to what we command, what we demand. Okay. And then I heard murder victims. I said, what about them? They will get justice. The Epstein list is just the tip of the iceberg. Many steps to follow. All of this at once would cause mass hysteria. And then I heard infringement upon free will. Like letting it all out now would be an infringement upon free will. People need to want to know. They need to call out for the truth. And this reminds me of circling it back to contact also. I was just reading some of the raw material. I haven't read any of that before, but I just picked up the book the other day. And in the beginning, I'm in like the first 30 pages. In the beginning, they're talking to this being that says, that is explaining why open contact hasn't happened is because that would be an infringement upon free will. So it's happening in smaller pockets, kind of in a drip disclosure way, to help seed that into the collective. And then people demand and want more, right? Then they start wanting that. Then that way it is our free will to want the truth, to want disclosure, to want open contact, to want all of the information, even with the Epstein list, to come out. People need to want to know. There's a lot of people, and this is similar, this is depicted in the Matrix films. There's people that they don't want to know. They want to bury their heads in the sand, and they're okay living out the normal program and being controlled, silently controlled, to where you have the appearance like you're in total control and everything's amazing. But there's so many dark things going on under the surface. And there's a lot of people, they're like, I don't even care to know. I've got bills to pay. I don't care about that. So these things are dripping out so that we get excited and we demand for change. We demand for the truth. And then we can start shifting that in that direction. It can't be imposed on us unless we want it, unless we call out for it. Similar to like in the Matrix. Yeah, there was that one character who he just wanted to go back to sleep. He wanted to take the blue pill and go back to sleep and forget all of it existed because it's tough. The truth is tough. But none of this information is new. It's been here for a long time. It's been going on for a long time. But this is trickling out in this way so that we speak up and we want it to come out. We demand for change. I was seeing a certain figure. Now, this is kind of going down the rabbit hole a little bit, but I was seeing Putin. And I asked if this was the original Putin, and I heard no, he has been replaced. Yes. So this is going down a bit down the rabbit hole, but I do feel like a lot of these figures and a lot of people and even celebrities have been replaced. And then I was also sensing 9/11 corruption evidence. So when I was tuning in for 2026, I saw a vision of an eye, and in the reflection of this eye, I saw the Twin Towers collapsing. It was like truth of our history and the corruption of that, evidence of that starting to come to the surface. And after I received that message, then I was seeing There's like a missing chunk in the Epstein files that correlates with around 9/11 date. So there's conspiracies about that coming to the surface. So all in all, I think this is very good steps, and I'm feeling very positive about it. It is up to us, and what happens next depends on our consciousness, our level of consciousness, and our frequency. What are we ready for? Just wanted to share my thoughts on that. So we'll see how this plays out. I will be back on YouTube live this Sunday at 12 p.m. PT, 2 p.m. CT. And I think for this Sunday, I'm going to be sharing some really awesome UFO footage that I've captured and some positive messages from the galactics and really get us into the heart space and help bring about disclosure, right? So I hope to see you guys on YouTube on Sunday. Turn the notifications on. Let me know your thoughts. And remember, it's up to us. We're going through kind of a shedding. I'm hearing the word shedding, a shedding process in the collective, a rebalancing, a reacclimating. Keep anchoring your light, demanding for truth, also being in your heart space. There's no reason for us to be fighting amongst each other. Okay, that's the distraction. Have faith. Please give this video a like, drop your comments. Also, I have a Sedona retreat coming up in May. I do have a few slots left for that, and I have one slot left for my Mount Shasta retreat in July. If you are interested in that, you can find more information in the video description. I will see you guys on Sunday.